Hey everybody, today on the show we are talking Slamdance. The Unstoppable program is happening again this year at the University of Utah. And Tripp and I have some movie recommendations for you, so you know you're going to want to stick around.
And every film at Slamdance, Sundance this year doesn't have me in it.
I mean, that is confusing, perplexing, and I can't wait to hear more. All this and more happening right here, right now on Talk 365 TV. Here we go.
And welcome back to the show. I'm Tripp Mitchell, so therefore that would be Holly Love. 10 years and going. Film festival coming up.
Lots of them.
But I, through my super agent,
Yes.
got a role in a television thing where I was a U.S. Senator, and we shot it at the state capitol. And an assassin came out and tried to kill me.
In the show.
Yes, and he shot one of my protective detail. Actually, and my other protective detail is the guy who works for the governor protects him. And the guy who got shot is actually a special forces recruiter, was over in Afghanistan and Iraq. I mean, amazing.
In real life. He was a real life stuntman.
But he came in and got shot and made it safe for me.
Nice. Did it make you want to, be a part of politics?
Let me think about that for a second.
Kennedy?
No.
Kennedy vibes? All right.
Nope. You've got to do too many things to get elected.
Let's stick with the fun stuff. So you have Beyond driving right now like crazy, because we're going to be talking movies in our next segment and more about Slamdance coming up. And it's the season of everything. So what do you want to tell me about skiing, about breakdowns? What's going on in your world?
So let me tell you a little bit. Snowbird, the crew up there, has done an amazing job this year. We are not getting the snow that we've had in past years. The groomers, or whatever they do, they work magic. So anyone who wants to come up to Snowbird, ask for me. I'm in the green jacket. And the hosts love it up there.
How's the skiing on the new body parts?
The new knee singular is great.
But you had a new knee prior to, and one hip.
And a shoulder.
Well, and a shoulder. I was just counting lower body, but I guess
shoulders count all body.
Too.
I have met so many nice men at TSA. They just are so nice. You go through the little spinorama and then they pat you down. Hey, want to give a plug out. A friend of mine just started a new business, BART'S Mobile. And this guy was in charge of service for a couple big dealers, knows it. He'll come out to you, 801-209-9080. Marty's...
Arrange a drop-off, arrange a pickup. We literally just did this. Andy had a blowout on the freeway in his big old truck.
Yep.
Really scary, actually. And then it was like 2 weeks of drama, of getting the car where it needed to be, ordering the part, waiting for the part, me getting there to pick it up on time. I mean, it's a workout. So the fact that he comes to you, that's huge.
Yep, and that's Bart. That's the key. We'll be back after this short break. You're watching Talk 365 TV.
This will be everlasting love. This will be.
Fall in love twice a day with Talk 365 TV on CW30 or anytime online. Talk 365 TV. It's an everlasting love.
Talk 365 TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic.
So I was injured in an accident and had a pretty severe concussion, and then 3 weeks later I had a second concussion. Once I saw Dr. Hatch, he knew immediately what was going on and was able to see that my eyes weren't tracting right, so they were bouncing. He was able to get that line to a straight line. It was amazing what the staff and Dr. Hatch was able to do. After seeing Dr. Hatch, I was able to ride from Salt Lake City to St. George. It's 428 miles in 28 hours. This was something that I never ever thought I would do. The work that they do here is amazing, and it will definitely change your life. Keep doing those exercises that Dr. Hatch gives you, and you will see phenomenal results.
Talk 365 TV is proud to present Talking Movies segment.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, this is one of my favorite segments to do. We are going to tell you what to watch in theaters, what to watch again, and what to watch party. Trip, what to watch in theaters. What are your recommendations?
Anything except Barbie.
Oh dear.
How could you make a movie that could make men...
Did you see it?
I did see it under...
At very minimum, did you not just sit back and enjoy Margot Robbie? I mean,
No,
I
that movie was... It was so horrible.
Oh no!
The only thing that was good was "Closer to Find" by the Indigo Girls was one of the songs where Barbie and... But that was it. I stood up and applauded at the end just to get out of there. There were men, I swear to God, the number of guns in the theater pointed at men to be there. The only excuse to go as a man is with your daughter or your granddaughter.
Maybe because the hype was so big on it being so bad that I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. It was pink, girly, Margot Robbie. What's not to love? Okay, we got to do actual recommendations though, because crew are people who actually know film, because you and I have clearly not been to anything that great recently. Josh recommends Wonka, which I think is just coming out.
Yep.
Timothy, you said it, Chalamet?
Yep,
Timothy
I did.
Chalamet.
And he hosted Saturday Night Live, and I've become a fan of his.
Right? Okay. And then The Iron Claw with Zac Efron. Apparently, Rahul saw that and he said it's really sad, but really, really good. And then I'm pretty sure the one that's going to win most of the Oscars is Oppenheimer, if I were to be a guessing gal. I don't know. I didn't see it. Did you?
I did not, but I read the book. No, I kind of know what happened, but
You kind of lived... No, you weren't alive then. You were a baby.
No, but, you kind of know what happened with the Manhattan
history.
Project.
Of course,
yes.
of course, yeah.
The actor had to lose all the weight in the world.
We're going to get through this.
We're gonna go
watch again. I have the best one.
What is it?
Almost Famous. Cameron Crowe. Oh my goodness, the best movie ever. We just bought it so we could stream it. Basically how it came up is because their budget for music was like $3 million, where normally it's like $1 million for music. And that film is a ride for both music, and it's basically the story of Cameron Crowe's life. And Frances McDormand that plays his mother, I mean, to me, it's an acting lesson. Philip Seymour Hoffman is in it, and his character is phenomenal. One of my most favorite quotes in life is Philip Seymour Hoffman says that the only true currency in this bankrupt world is what you share with someone when you're uncool, which is, 90% of what we share.
So it's basically a story. Cameron Crowe got a job with Jan Werner and Rolling Stone when he was 16 and went out the road with these bands. And just amazing. Hey, I've got
Tiny Dancer. Best ever. Okay, binge.
Fisk. This thing...
I was going to say the same one.
Fisk is out of nowhere. This crazy woman who's a 50-year-old attorney in Melbourne. Her husband left her for an older woman. And it is...
Cry hysterical.
Fisk is so good. Please. It's on Netflix. It's only 12 episodes, 2 seasons, half an hour. And they shoot it TV style. So they'll do like a 60-second segment, then a bump. Please watch Fisk.
Absolutely worth your time. You will, and we actually agreed on something.
And we did not go over this.
We did not go over it.
We
clearly.
watched the last episode last night, and
I watched it last week. Phenomenal.
Yep. And Vita, being a former U.S. attorney, she loved it from a lawyer's perspective. Please watch Fisk.
All right. Well, that's our recommendations. People take it or leave it, and we'll be right back right after this.
Talk 365 TV's Classic Movie Minute with Todd Summers.
Hi everybody, it's Todd Summers and welcome to Todd's Classic Movie Minute. I have a movie that I want you to watch from 1937 called Stella Dallas, starring Barbara Stanwyck and Anne Shelley. But let me warn you, you're going to need an entire box of tissues because this is a tearjerker. This is a sad movie. I'm getting sad telling you about it. But both Barbara and Anne were nominated for Oscars. Barbara was for lead role, Anne was for the supporting role. Fantastic movie. It's mother-daughter, it's putting your life on your line for the people that you love. Good luck with it. I mean, it's sad. From 1937, Stella Dallas. Now, if you want to rent Stella Dallas, go to Amazon Prime. Look for it. It's worth it.
10 years, Holly. I went back and we'll show some pictures of us 10 years ago. And
that feels like literally yesterday. But when we start thinking back to where we were and how many things we've been through, health stuff, personal stuff, marriages, divorces, all kinds of fun things we have been through together.
As you get a little older, time
Morphs.
just yeah. You remember
Warp
being a little
speed.
kid and your birthday be next week, and that like 6 or 7 days to your
Christmas.
birthday would slow down to a crawl.
Yep.
Now that is not the case. Things
No.
are moving. But anyway, thank you so much. 10 years we've been doing this. Want to thank Rich Bonaducci, who stepped in for a year and a half during that period.
Farrell Lafferty.
Farrell and
Bill Francis, we had so much fun with crowd surfing, which sort of got kiboshed a bit during the pandemic, but I think it's coming back. I think events are happening again
yeah.
in a big way.
Yeah, Sundance is going to be amazing. We'll be still covering it. 10 years we've done it. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Talk 365 TV is proud to present today's event news you can use segment. And welcome back to the show. It is film festival time, and I am quite a bit older than Holly. I'm even quite a bit older than your acting age, which is 27.
29,
29, excuse me.
give or take.
So I moved here in 1981, and Sundance started soon afterwards. You told me a great story. So I met at a party a number of years ago a gentleman named Jeremy Kuhn. And we were just talking, and he knew that I was in TV, and I knew he was a movie producer. And his most recent project that I saw on Netflix was great. It was a documentary about a bunch of kids who recreated Raiders of the Lost Ark shot for shot.
Oh, wow.
It sounds crazy, and it was on Netflix, and it was wonderful. And I
Okay.
said, have you ever done a theatrical film? And he said, yeah, my first one. And I'm wondering, why go from theatrical film to documentaries? And I said, did it make any money? And he said, yeah, it made a lot of money. And I said, what was it? And he said, Napoleon Dynamite.
Don't you love that? When
And you
it's-
told me about the year these guys, the director and the actor, they were all up at Sundance as volunteers. The next year they were the...
I mean, the stories that come from Napoleon Dynamite are phenomenal. I have friends that I worked with at K-Jazz back in the day that were just up there on the crew. I mean, it was really the film that was never meant to make it or have an audience, but it was so much fun. It's one of those that you just had to get into it to really get the humor. I just remember when Pedro was in the tub and I just laughed so hard. That's probably another watch again. We should probably watch that one again in honor of independent
Well,
film.
and it's being in the television business, every crew person I've ever met in a lot of years of doing this loves that movie.
Right.
And, these are the people, the crew guys, what we do is really easy.
Compared to all the technical
Oh.
and all the background and all the stuff we need them to know so that we actually get heard and seen.
Oh my God.
There's a few steps, one or two.
And live television is different. And when I meet
film
people,
is that on steroids too, because I mean, oh my goodness.
the pressure and
so
but a game,
many people.
I think a game is tougher. We can argue about this later.
Right.
But a game is tougher because you have a hard in at 6 o'clock on Monday night.
Oh, I would 100% tell you live
And that-
game would be 1,000 times worse than a
So
film.
when Fox took over doing NFL football, that's how the network was made. It was languishing in fourth place. And they got the NFL rights out from CBS. In their contract was 4 cameras covering the games to begin with. Now for a Super Bowl, there are in excess of 60 live cameras, and it could go higher than that.
Wow, that's
Can you-
crazy.
The TV, and you see
Think
the...
of what you can see inside of football now when you watch the game, like versus when you think back to the old tube TV and it's like blurry and like maybe there's a ball. Like, how did people do it and love it so much?
It is, the technology is so amazing now, and we're coming down to the Super Bowl, and that is the last event that we come together as a nation. Over 100 million people watch the Super Bowl.
So
a
who's
nation
going this year? Someone? Do we know yet?
I just
Who
lost.
are your picks?
Well, I think Buffalo, even though they're not even qualified for the playoffs, is scary good. They've been playing very well lately. And everyone loves San Francisco. Their quarterback was the last pick in the draft. He was known as Mr. Irrelevant. And now Brock is arguably the best player
I
in
just can't
football.
believe San Francisco let go of the hot one.
Garoppolo?
So hot. Okay, now we are talking Slamdance. We're here to go back to independent film because this is happening at the University of Utah, their Unstoppable program. This program is basically by filmmakers with disabilities, both visible and unseen. And this program is like when you feel good about independent film and about seeing someone making their way that maybe otherwise wouldn't have been given a shot, and that's what you love about film festivals and independent filmmaking, this is that on steroids. And the way this all came together and the way that it was thought of and how it was born during the pandemic in 2021, which actually served the Unstoppable program to have legs and work and go because of the way everyone was forced to stay home and what that opportunity gave to people who are disabled and unable to be out there running around doing films. I mean, it's just such a phenomenal, awesome, feel-good, amazing story and a program that you want to get behind. And right up there at the University of Utah, so easy access. We had a chance last year to have a conversation with Taylor Miller, who is now the director of the whole festival, and a delight to speak with, and she's going to tell you all about the program, how it was created, and then where you can go to find out more information. Hey everybody, we made it with Miss Taylor Miller, who is the co-founder of the Unstoppable program here at Slamdance. Now, Taylor, I have been so looking forward to talking to you because two things. Number one, this is a baby program, started in 2021, which when we first had our meeting, I gasped and was like, oh no, and you were like, oh no, it ended up being a blessing in disguise. So tell us about the inception, the creation of the Unstoppable program, because it is so groundbreaking, and then how 2021, how that all turned out and moving into where we are now.
For sure. Thank you so much, Holly. I appreciate the opportunity. So, during the pandemic, I think that all creators and artists, whether it was filmmakers or writers or whatever, just all the creatives, I think we were trying to figure out new ways to tell a story, and that being hinged within a new understanding of being in public and then not being able to go places. And there's a woman, an incredible filmmaker. She's one of my dearest friends. Her name is Juliet Romeo. She's from Miami, and she had the idea of Unstoppable. She has sickle cell disease. She's had it since she was 6 months old, and she's a disability advocate and just a brilliant filmmaker. She basically wrote Peter Baxter a letter, and Peter's the president and co-founder of Slamdance, and just said, listen, we need a space for disability inclusion, and can we have a discussion about that? And Peter got the letter from her and kind of, instead of saying, we'll give you a small section like in the festival where you can, he basically said you can have an entire program.
Right.
And so that's the sort of, beginning evolution of Unstoppable. It's funny, right? Because only Slamdance would create more programs during the pandemic, right? It's
Right.
like, how in the world, But it's also one of these things where Unstoppable is something that it is Slamdance to help one another tell a story and to be able to provide a platform
Right.
for filmmakers with visible and non-visible disabilities, providing that platform for them to tell their story, right?
Well, and interesting to have its debut year be a year where people didn't necessarily need to be standing in front of people on a stage or running from meeting to meeting in order to meet investors, because a lot of this opportunity for filmmakers is to become funded, is to meet investors, is to meet those people. So what a game changer for Unstoppable to be able to be at a computer in a Zoom meeting where we take away any possible barriers there.
Right. No, you're exactly right, Holly. And I think that a lot of it too is, this is our first year for Unstoppable to be in person, physically in person. But we've kept our promise of accessibility for having Unstoppable and the Slamdance Festival online.
Right.
As well.
Well, the pandemic opened up this whole new arena, I think, for artists everywhere, and it sounds like you guys have been able to come up with something absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, listen, it's for storytellers, right? There's so much of that is about reframing narrative, and it's also been about reframing the narrative of accessibility, and diversity, inclusion, accessibility. These are words that have an enormous impact on people every single day, and it's an opportunity for us to show these stories, to show different perceptions, to show different, viewpoints of, a person's life. And there has to be a quality when it comes to storytelling and accessibility. And it's not overnight. It's step by step, but it's listening to our filmmakers and doing everything that we can with our resources and our promise to them to come through with that. And it's time that people with visible and non-visible disabilities are treated the same way as others are treated, and especially being filmmakers, that their stories are shown and shared.
So tell us, for those out there watching, how do they become a part of it, whether they are interested in having a film be looked at and then supporting it as a sponsor or being a part of supporting it in any way?
All right, absolutely. Yeah, thanks, Holly. I mean, check us out, slamdance.com, and all year long we're in the thick of it, just in terms with filmmakers and the festival, and we also have screenwriting competition, and there's other programs within Slamdance, and just have an understanding of the dates of when submissions are open, and then when the final deadline is for that, and and reach out to us, at Slamdance.
So definitely check out their website if you are interested in either submitting a film or becoming a supporter of either Slamdance or specifically the Unstoppable program. But before we go, we got to talk about your home here at the University of Utah. This is a reunion of such because the very first time Slamdance ever happened, it happened right here at the University of Utah. So your relationship with them goes way back and is very strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's full circle. Slamdance began in 1994, and their first year was here at the University of Utah. There's an amazing accessibility disability center at the university that's known nationwide, and so the honor is really ours. And it just feels right. It's the right collaboration for sure.
So before we go, tell us your hopes for the future, for the hopes for the Unstoppable program, and then what you need.
We have to be willing to always learn, and to never feel like, okay, now we've got it, because I think that's a major part of understanding accessibility and inclusion and diversity and disability is, you're always going to be learning more about it. And I think that being open to that is a major component of, taking on appropriate responsibility of being a film festival that is, that has a promise to help filmmakers tell their stories, So, I think that Unstoppable will only get bigger and brighter, and I think that as we continue on, I feel that the story tells itself, and those that want to support us, they know where we are, and we definitely, need all the help that we can get to get the word out there. So,
as you know, the program is probably over by the time you're seeing this, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, but that doesn't mean you still cannot find the content and all of the wonderful films and shorts that happened as a part of this program. Tell us where we can find this post Slamdance dates actually physically happening.
For sure. So slamdancechannel.com.
Everything's there.
Everything's there.
All right, so go to slamdancechannel.com if it's post-festival. If it's still happening, get up here and see these wonderful films. We highly recommend you support the Unstoppable program right here at the University of Utah. Taylor Miller, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Holly. I really appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on Talk 365 TV right after this.
Talk 365 TV's Wellness Minute is brought to you by Brain Rehab Clinic.
Hey, my name is James Lawrence, the Iron Cowboy, and I'm best known for doing 50 Ironmans, 50 days in 50 states, and most recently, 100 consecutive full-distance triathlons with no days off. And once you complete something like that, you realize how powerful the mind is, and everybody's fascinated with preparation and execution, and then when recovery happens, you realize how much trouble you're in. And I've had at least 6 concussions, and then also broke my back at that Conquer 100. And the back has healed itself, but I now have this incredible pain. Never thought I'd run again until I found these guys right here. And Dr. Hatchie's incredible, and he has totally changed my life. I'm now back to running pain-free. In fact, I'm going to the World Championships this year to be competitive again, and that I never thought would be possible. So thank you so much to everybody here, and I would recommend it to every single person that's ever experienced any trauma or anything in their lives. This place will change you.
For the time of your life, watch TALK365 TV twice daily on Utah's CW30 or anytime online.
Well, great job, great interview, and it's fun to see people. Utah is arguably the prettiest state in the country.
I know, you and I both are hands down on board
And,
with that.
you know, we have that. We have sports, and probably a third to, in some cases, half of the Olympians, for the Winter Olympics, that is, have a nexus here in Utah. Either they train here, live here, or go to school here. We're incredible. But we're also the independent film capital, and to have Slamdance come off it is pretty darn cool, and it's something we should be really proud of.
Well, and Kevin Costner that kind of came up on the heels to bring in, and really, I feel like he came in after Robert Redford saw what he did and took it to the not maybe the next level, but definitely took it to a level, kept it going, right? And then we have so many great films that are made here, and it's because in a matter of hours you can be from a desert to a snow scene. It's such a wonderful state for all the different array of beauty you can find and need for whatever film.
And it was a shame because Yellowstone has become the most popular show on television, and the first 3 scenes were filmed up at all the interiors up at Park City Studios, but then a lot of the other stuff, Ogden, all over. But as you mentioned, Kevin Costner, when he produces movies now, likes to be in Utah.
He really does. He looks for locations here in this state.
But you know what's sad is back in the 50s, a lot of movies were filmed in southern Utah, and because of the fact they were downwinders from the nuclear testing outside Las Vegas, a number of actors, including John Wayne and actresses, came down with cancer, and they think there was a connection.
So we did a Magnificent Movie Showcase, went back in my K-Jazz days with Todd Summers, down in Kanab at the Gunsmoke on the set, because it's still there, in the Perry Hotel. We had so much fun. If you have an opportunity to go down there and you want a little film nostalgia, it's all still there for you. At least from the last I heard, it is all still there for you. Have you ever seen it, been down that way?
I have not.
It's really fun.
Kanab was great. We went down filming a Las Vegas show and just met a helicopter pilot, and we were just, we didn't have anything set in mind and went up, and he took us up and took us to some petroglyphs. And we were flying maybe 50 to 60 feet from the wall of this canyon, seeing one of the funnest things. I remember when I moved here and just being so amazed by the Wasatch, and people said, when you go to southern Utah, you're going to be even more amazed. And now you guys go down to St. George and Mesquite. And
we did have so much fun in Mesquite. Mesquite is
by the way, Mesquite is not in Utah.
It's not in Utah, but it's so adjacent and so close, and it's such a fun place to people watch and go play. We had a blast in Mesquite. Anytime we go down there, it's a good time.
Yeah, and you used to go to Powder Mountain. Reed Hastings, the guy, Netflix honcho, bought it, and big things are happening at Powder Mountain. So
our wedding, 2024, Andy and Holly, is at Wolf Creek Resort. I'll give you the date. I'll give you the save the date and all the details. So we plan on having a big party at Wolf Creek Resort.
Free food and drink for all our viewers. So
on this date.
All our viewers. So for Holly, I'm Trip. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.